Okay, so I'm going to be spraying the maroon first. This is the TS11 maroon. I've already masked off the forearms where this is going to go, so it's just kind of a light mist. Even a little bit blotchy is okay, because there's going to be another color that's going to go on top of this that's going to kind of kill some of this purple tone. So you want it to look something like that for the first coat. I'm going to do this to the rest of the forearms, and I'll show you what this looks like when I'm all done. Okay, so after I misted on the clear, I went ahead and put a good coat of clear on just to lock everything down, and then I realized it was probably a little too light. So here's the cod piece, and the chest is a little bit darker because I've sprayed a little bit of the brown boots satin, and it's just lightly misting it. You can see on the helmet over here it was really light, so this one I've already sprayed. So I've masked off all the yellow spots, and I went ahead and sprayed the dome and the entire face with this to kind of blend the two together. I'll go over it with a fine sanding sponge just to kind of hit some of the highlights to help the weathering out there a little bit. But so I'm going to spray here this cod and belt area. So I spray just lightly over the maroon section is fine. What it's going to do is going to just kind of tone down the sharp edges and help the colors blend together a little bit more, so that the burgundy isn't so bright and the sand color just isn't so light. It needs to be just a tad bit darker. So I'm going to do this to all the parts, to the forearms, the shins, but try to stay away from the yellow area on the forearms, just mainly into the elbow areas like such. And it's just adding a very thin coat, kind of like that, so it's probably not even that noticeable, just ever slightly. It just helps smooth the transitions out between the undercoats and the top coat, and that's it. Okay, so I've finished painting all the parts, and I went through and I sanded everything with a fine grit sanding sponge. It kind of becomes quite chalky. So you really want to take it off very lightly and do it slowly. I unmasked everything at once, so I can kind of see how it was going to weather through the different yellows and maroons and into this salmon kind of sand color. So what I'm going to do, because of it being very chalky like, I'm actually going to be using a crystal clear flat. So it's very important using a flat. Now I'm going to be misting it on all the parts just to lock in the color. But this is pretty much what the parts are looking like so far. So like I said, I'm just going to be just very lightly misting it on just to lock in. So I'll just be doing all the parts like that, and it's basically going to look the same, but it's just going to make it last a little bit longer. Okay, so before you peel off the masking, this is after you sprayed the maroon and the brown, I forgot what it was exactly. You want to use a fine grit sanding sponge, and this is the time that you want to add the weathering, because you don't want the these colors to blend into the yellows. So just kind of go around and weather it as you want. Just kind of adding some battle damage to it, not a whole lot. To your liking of what you think the battle damage should be. So something like that, and just kind of go around in all the parts. You want to do this to the forearms and also to the shins, and then after you're all done with the weathering, then unmask it, and then there's a little bit more steps involved as well. Okay, so I'm going to be spraying the next color onto the shin, which is the TS69 Linoleum Deck Brown. I've already sprayed the maroon. Basically applying it the same way of just putting a light mist. This is just to kind of kill the purplish maroon look, giving it a little bit of the brown tone to it. Kind of see the difference of the bright maroon, a little bit more of the brown. I'm only doing one decent pass, just to, like I said, kill that brownish, kill the maroon, give it a little bit more of a brown tone. So it should look something like that. And I'll do the other one and you'll see what it looks like when it's all done. Okay, so I've sprayed the maroon on the forms and I've let that dry. I'm going to be putting the next color, which is the TS69 Linoleum Deck Brown. Just basically the same way I applied the maroon, lightly misting it on. This is just basically going to kill the maroon color and tone it down and give it a little bit of the brown tone. Kind of see the difference as the brown and versus the purplish tone that the maroon gives. Just doing it kind of far away, letting it just mist on. And I'll do the same for the other form, and I'll show you what it looks like when they're all done. The maroon, the TS11, onto the lower leg, shin and calf area. Just putting a light misted coat around. I've already masked off exactly where I want this color to go. It's okay to put on a little bit blotchy. Don't need a nice even thick coat on this. There's going to be another color that goes on top of this to kind of hide this purplish color, but you need it as a base. Just going to go over it twice real light. And I'm going to do that to the other shin, and then I'll show you what the next step is.